In this video, I'm going to teach you the 7 different levels of consciousness so you can be more aware of how you show up on a day-to-day basis, and so you can be more aware of your behaviors, but also you can better understand other people and why they do the things that they do. Have you ever had an argument with somebody and no matter what you said or no matter what they said, none of you could see each other's side of view? Or perhaps you've both witnessed an event happen and you both have complete different reactions to it. One of you gets really offended and the other just doesn't give a crap at all. Or maybe you can even think back to one part of your life where something was really important to you at that time, and now you look back on it and you're like, I can't believe I acted like that. I can't believe I said those things, did those things. That's just not like me. Because this is what happens is there's 7 different levels of consciousness that we'll all most likely go through in our life, depending if you're willing to do the work or not. And based off your level of consciousness or the work you've done, the things you've let go of, will determine how you see the world, how you respond to things that happen in your life, and whether or not you're triggered or if you're just super calm. Because we've all met people in our life that no matter what happens, they just get extremely pissed off and they get all righteous, or they think they're all hard done by. And we've also met people who are as cool as a cucumber, meditate like a monk, and then nothing ever phases them. Because each one of these people were operating from different levels of consciousness. And what determines the level of consciousness you're at is a few things. The first one could be your environment. The people you're surrounded by are also going to determine how you think and the consciousness you actually have. The second thing that's going to be determined on is the amount of work you've actually done. Have you had an upbringing of severe trauma? Because what's going to allow you to move up consciousness levels is to actually do the work. Remove the traumas, remove fears, remove limiting beliefs, and all these sorts of things so you can actually become more aware and more conscious of how the world actually works. But before I do, I just want to say if you're new to this channel, welcome. We put out videos every single week to help you learn the skill set and the mindset to create your dream life. And if you're coming back for more, welcome back, Dream Nation. Let's get into this. All right, so the first level is literally just level 1. And the only thing that they really think about here is purely survival. The most important thing to the level 1 consciousness is just surviving and getting through the days. So this could be like some people in the deep Amazon that are not even in a tribe yet, where the only thing they do is go out there and hunt. Or it could even be someone who's homeless, living on the street, or even someone who's completely at the end of their life and they've lost all ability to look after themselves, and the only thing that they're doing is focusing on survival. If you're gonna have a conversation with this person about, hey, starting a business, you should do this, you should do that, it's not really going to make much sense, because in their model of the world, the only thing that's important to them is just surviving. Which means is they get to say things and do things evolved around getting to their end outcome, which is just survival. So the primary question this person is going to ask themselves is, how can this help me survive today? That's it. There's not much happening here. But the second level is where things get a little bit more exciting now. So the second level of consciousness, this person is actually starting to get in touch with their spiritual side. These people are all about family, they're all about tribes, and they're all about ancestral sorts of things. They love mystical beings, they love ceremonies, they love doing cacao ceremonies and all these sorts of things where they can get really in touch with their ancestors. So what's really important for these people is to always look out for their family or their tribe. So the primary question that they're gonna ask themselves is, can this support my tribe or my family? That's about it. If you think back to when you're a little girl or a little boy at school and the teacher said something to you and they said something to you and you didn't like what they said, and your response was maybe something like, yeah, but my mum says this, my dad says this. Because what's important as the level 2 consciousness is, I don't care about what you said as the authority. My tribe leader, my mum, my dad, they say this, so to hell with what you think then. That is the consciousness level of a level 2. Pretty hard to kind of reason with that person, right? Drop me a thumbs up if you've ever dated someone who's kind of acted like that before. Give us the thumb. The next one is the level 3 person. So this person actually is a bit more aggressive. This person is driven by aggression and sheer power. They love control. They love to win. They want to be in front. And the primary question of what they ask themselves is, can this help me right here, right now? You know, that's about it. The person is quite about themselves. They usually operate from a place of, I'm gonna take what I need right now, and they don't really experience guilt here yet. You see someone who's gone through bad things in their life, have done things, taken things, committed crimes, or perhaps even done things that you think they should feel sorry for, but the truth of the matter is, at this level of consciousness, they can't actually experience guilt yet. This person usually goes out there and they'll do things just for their own benefit. And then eventually, if they get caught and they get punished, then they'll transition to the 4th level of consciousness, where they can actually be aware of the things that they've done and how it's impacted somebody else. But when they're at the third level still, they're not feeling guilt yet. So they do not feel sorry for the actions that they have done. So if you're trying to reason with someone who's just 3 level of consciousness, they legitimately will look at you like you're weak. Because remember, whatever level of consciousness you're at is most likely where you think the world is at as well. Because the 4th level to transition properly is when the people actually start to experience guilt. And they start to realize that, oh shit, the things that I've done earlier in my life were not very good. And I've probably hurt some people, or I've done some things wrong. Now I feel bad about it. It actually transitions them into a 4th level of consciousness, a new level of thinking. And at this level, they're all about righteousness. They're about seeking something bigger than themselves, seeking meaning, seeking purpose. They really want something like, why am I living here? What is this world all about? And they live by the good book. They live by the rules. They live by the system. It's right and this is wrong. This is good and this is bad. And that is their entire life that they live in. So they'll ask themselves the question of what is the right thing to do here? That's it. They don't care about what's best for them. They'll care about what's right. They have a massive fear of being judged here, but quite often they're going to seek community so they can feel supported with their needs and their problems, so they can do the healing from all the things that they went through in their past. So could you imagine someone with a level 4 way of thinking and a level 3 way of thinking trying to have an argument about doing business with somebody? The 3 is going to go, well, screw them. I'm going to do the deal, and I know it's going to screw them over, but I'm going to win. And the person with the 4th level of consciousness, they're going to look at them and be like, oh my God, how could you? That is the wrong thing to do. You're a horrible person. Can't you see that what you're doing is bad? And they're going to say, no. So the 3 should be moving into the 4th eventually, where they can actually look at something and say, hey, I agree. I could do that, but it's not the right thing to do. Let me do what's right here. So again, the 1 is going to say, what can I do to actually survive? The 2 will say, what can I do to help my tribe? The 3 will say, what can I do to help me right here? The 4th will say, what can I do to help others? What is the right thing to do here? Now, the 5th level of consciousness is actually really stepping into a state of what is it you're here to do on this earth? What do you want to create? How do you want to win big? Entrepreneurs really operate from here a lot. They start to think about, how can I win and you can also win? How can we bend the rules a little bit here so we can get what we ultimately want? We're not going to break the law, but we're going to bend the law. So they're going to ask the question, they're going to say, what's the best way to do this where we can all win right here? At the 5th level of consciousness, they don't bother holding on to the fear of judgment or criticism or any of this anymore. What they're doing is they're actually going out to create a life on their terms, a life by design, a life that they actually want. The 6th level of consciousness is all about slowing things down now, becoming more spiritual, meditating, getting your cacao bowl and your crystals and shit out and being like, how can we serve the planet on a bigger level? This is the question they're going to ask. They're going to say, hey, what's best for the planet? What's best for the community overall? And if they don't know, what they're going to do is they're going to go and meditate on it for 10 years and then come back, hopefully with an answer. You see, the level of thinking here is just so much bigger than all the first things. They're not thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about just the people around them, the family, the tribe, the community, or making money. In fact, what they're thinking about is going, how can we actually serve the planet? How can we make sure that people are not destroying the planet anymore? How can we make things electric? How can we all go vegan so we're not killing the animals? That is the level 6 way and how they actually think. They're thinking at such different level of what's going to be the repercussions of my action. And the 7th level of consciousness is extremely rare because a lot of people want to think like this, but they just don't actually. Because to think like a proper 7th level consciousness is to really be so done with all the lower level shit, limiting beliefs, negative emotions. They don't get angry really anymore. They're not getting sad. They're not feeling shame or guilty about their past. They're looking at life just as it is. And the thing that they're going to ask themselves is, what is most functional and practical here? They're not looking for people getting emotional. They're not looking for people who have their sides and their opinions and their reasons and their meaning. They just go look at it from a massive objective view and say, what is best for the entire ecosystem overall? What is most functional right now? What is most practical? And let's do that. So as you can see, the 7 different levels are completely different from one another. The problem people have is when they're operating in just one level and not aware of the other level. And the goal for you should be to become aware of how you operate most of the time, which one you're at. If you know where you're at, comment below. Which one resonated most with you? Go and comment below. Because the first step to transitioning and up-leveling our consciousness is to actually become aware of where we're thinking right now. And hopefully this can give you a little bit of understanding as to how other people think and why they do the things that they do as well. so you can better understand people to become a better negotiator, become a better influencer, and to become a better person all around. Now, if you're someone who still worries about what other people are going to think of you, this is the fourth level of consciousness, and where a lot of people operate still at the moment, is they're so caught up in their head about, well, what are other people going to think of me? I want to start this business, but what's little Sally going to say? Or what are my parents going to say? Or whatever it might be. Then I made a video for you guys. Go ahead and click this video right here, and I'm going to go through the things on how you can stop giving a fuck what other people think of you. This video is going to help you a lot. Go ahead and click it, and I'm going to see you guys on the next video.